The latest examples of why crypto is down. All the reasons that they have to sell the market. Here's a hint. I'm going to give them to you, but they're all wrong. The macro experts are doing last year's trade or the year before that, or even the year before that. We're not trading the new era yet in crypto. I will explain. Now, in case you can't watch the whole stream, let me just tell you this. Retail, the champions of XRP, are now bearish XRP, according to CoinDesk. I mean, it's really too bad we don't have special effects. So like the mind-blowing emoji can't like just come through on the screen. They've actually warned people out in XRP. How was that even possible? It's like some of these major YouTubers have gone XRP only, and now all of a sudden retail is bearish. No one is reading the situation in the foreign exchange market correctly. The good news is I will, and I will explain it to you. Meanwhile, the Gann model featured in Patreon Platinum, it's so on the money, it scared me and the Eagle King. Like yesterday was supposed to be a dip day, and today was supposed to be the bottom somewhere around like 121 Bitcoin. Yesterday, we get off this stream, Bitcoin's at 125, and I'm like, well, you know, guess the model didn't get it right, or guess it was a baby dip. Oh my God. Then this macro stuff hits and Bitcoin vaporizes right to where the Gann model said it was. We're scaring ourselves with our own model. So you definitely want to get in Patreon Platinum and pick that up. And we always go over these things on the YouTube member podcast. So enough shilling. Let's talk about why the market is down. Okay. So the Japanese have recently implemented some policies that are kind of ridiculous. They have a problem with too much printed money, inflation, and a bond market that's falling apart. So instead of printing less money or raising rates or whatever, they just decided to print more money and let their bond market fall apart and hope no one notices because the stock market continues to go up. So everyone is getting out of the yen, which, you know, in some ways is fuel for speculation, until it starts to scare people, because as the yen falls, the dollar rises. So you have incessant buying of stonks, incessant buying of gold. None of those things are bothered by these currency movements. But of course, they got to go pick on crypto, and they washed everybody out again. And we all know what's going to happen. We all know Bitcoin. We all know ETH. All this stuff is going to go completely insanely parabolic when they finally get over themselves and go, you know what? The real way to do this is through crypto. Because as I always say, the first trade is always wrong, right? The first trade really was stonks. Then they're doing gold, which will probably have a blow off top, and then crypto will follow. Now, gold is going through its gradually and then suddenly. Now, if you've ever heard the term blow off top, that came from the technical analysis of commodities. Normally, financial instruments, you know, at least before the AI age, or maybe with the exception of the dot-com era, stonks never really did blow off tops. Blow off tops were in things like commodities, which were the heavily emotional crypto instruments of its day in the 70s and 80s. And gold, obviously, is a commodity, as is silver. Now, the thing that's scary about gold is that spot gold metal is going up, but no one in stonks is interested in the gold ETF. So you would have to wonder what happens if people start allocating money to gold through the ETF. I mean, you could get this like huge sudden move in gold through 5,000, which no matter what dollar yen is doing, because the yen does have further to fall, and the dollar will rise because everyone's also getting out of the euro. We talked about that yesterday. So the dollar may go up and gold may go up and everyone's freaking out. Everyone's selling crypto, whatever. It's literally the dumbest thing I've seen this year. Now, again, it's an old relationship, dollar up, crypto down. Okay. But has anyone figured out that the world has changed? I mean, my colleague Toby Ward has been talking about the decoupling. I don't know. It feels like she's been talking about it for a year and a half. And it's here, and everyone's just like, oh, well, a flock of them flew over that time. I guess I'll get bearish XRP. It's just, it's so stupid. It's painful. I mean, it's painful that the market goes up and everyone gets excited and then it goes down. I understand that's annoying. Now, on the subject of annoying, it creates opportunity. Like, for example, XRP is way below where it should be according to the Gann model. So Ethereum is, a little bit below, right? And you're not going to believe what this model has to say about Ethereum. You're not going to believe it when you see it. It's like, wow. And the thing that people also need to realize about crypto catalysts, especially after the Zcash move, is that we got an election for New York City mayor. Now, I don't know how much these social media services are going to let us talk about that, because I mean, after all, I just said the E word, right? But you do realize that the financial capital of the world could be ruled by somebody who does not favor the capitalist free market system. As a matter of fact, he is openly opposed to it. So all this money in New York, all these banks, all these headquarters, all these giant buildings, right? You walk down Wall Street and you look up at the sky and these buildings, they block out the sun. I mean, this city could be run by somebody that, needless to say, is not in favor of any of that. And the need to get money on chain in front of that event, in front of this event, could be enormous. Enormous. You think people are going to sit around and go, okay, well, let's wait until after that person is in charge? No. Especially with gold moving, especially with, you have massive problems with, I don't know, two of the planet's biggest currencies. You definitely have a problem with the yen, right? Now, in some ways, that's good for speculation, unless it gets the currency where it is disorderly. Central banks will let fiat currencies move unless they start moving like crypto and it gets disorderly. Now, one thing you don't know about currencies, right, is that they love to push central banks and treasuries. It's like, oh, okay. You guys are going to get upset if we move that way? Okay, well, great. Let's move that way and let's see what you do. Let's see if you come into the market and intervene to try and stop us. That's why this yen thing could get crazy. But if you have a yen thing and you have a euro thing because of, governments rising and falling, how is this not bullish Bitcoin, regardless of whatever dollar fluctuation that there is? I mean, clearly, the green fiat is getting dumped because people are saying, I don't care what equities are worth. $1 in stonks is better than $1 in the bank. $1 in gold is better than $1 in the bank. Now, again, that's the first trade. And there's nothing wrong with gold. I'm not hating on gold. But I mean, everybody is going to buy into the gold buying climax. Meanwhile, crypto, we sit here waiting, right? I mean, antivirus was dumped below 3 million market cap. Now, it came back and they ate the dip, as they should. They ate the dip in Zcash, which, by the way, there's a Zcash Gann roadmap. They said first dip to 145, and most likely post full moon, the washout is to 120, 130, and it actually went there. I'm like, oh, there's no way it's going to go to 130. I swear. Right? I mean, in some ways, psychologically, I didn't believe my own model, but privacy went down and they ate the dip, and it's this event in November, obviously. And of course, this morning, Bitcoin's coming right back. Now, the twist with this foreign exchange going on is that, I don't know, crypto could be choppy. I mean, normally after you get these down moves, crypto should just turn around and go right back up again. And if that happened, I would not be surprised. However, you could have chop back and forth. You could. All right. But that's not going to last either. In other words, to me, I see that as a good thing. Because if you want to get involved, well, whatever they got going on in Legacy, their latest circus, I don't know, it may give you like 3 or 4 more days to get in or to add. Now, if you've already loaded up to the gills, which I understand, listen, for God's sakes, don't fall for this day trader chop BS. Do not get caught in that. Do not buy strength. Do not sell weakness. Do not get your head messed up. It's got to be a bull market in your mind. As I told the Patreon group before, it's a bull market in your P&L, period. Right? This, in my opinion, is going up. And it is going up so massively, it's gonna be something where you won't be able to buy it. Like the thing that's interesting about gold and stonks is that it's been orderly. Like if you wanted to jump in on gold, you know, it just goes up 2% every day. You just jump in, right? When crypto goes, because it's already suppressed and then we sell it or they sell it or someone sells it or levered margin babies get stopped out or whatever. When it finally goes, it'll just go. Like you'll just go to sleep and wake up in the morning and it'll be up 25 or 30%. And it'll do that for 3 or 4 days in a row or 3 or 4 weeks in a row. And it'll be 5% a day. And you'll be faced with, oh, gee, I should have bought it when it was down, which is what I'm trying to prevent by going on this show. You know, we're publishing in the YouTube member area. We actually published a video, a clip from, you know, the Solana psychic kind of laying it down for you as to how you should organize your portfolio and your head going into this, a really tidy 3-minute video, right? With a, you know, with a little help from Altcoin Daily on the title. Love you guys. Thank you. You know, it's something that you just have to get right. In other words, this crypto move is not optional. This bottom that's, you know, this dip that's happening, managing the legacy volatility or ignoring the legacy volatility and just being like, oh, okay, my coin's down. Okay, great. Or I don't have enough of this sector. Okay, great. Naturally, okay, all of this premium research, this YouTube channel is the front end of what has now become, thanks to Toby and AI, a research service, right? And of course, we'll try to give you as much alpha as we can. You know, like the first thing that comes to mind is I cannot believe no one is talking about cross-chain activity. One of the Gann coins that we like is Wormhole. The other obvious thing is Chainlink, right? And if you want to be more conservative, there's things like Polkadot and Cosmos. Now, I know that's boring. I know it's boring, but boring could rally way more than you think. Because when the whole world goes, yeah, you know, we need to get on chain. Like, that's the whole world. That's everybody. You know, like, for example, global pension funds manage $60 trillion. 60 trillion. You know, what happens if they put 1% of that in gold and 1% of that in crypto? Forget about it. Like I said, you won't be able to buy it. Crypto Crazy with the $10 super chat, liking the show. Sir, we appreciate you sincerely. Yeah. And by the way, we have TikTok online. So welcome everybody who's watching on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Welcome TikTok Nation. Okay. Yeah. Jerry says, crypto millionaire taking $10 donations from other crypto millionaires. Well, sir, I very much appreciate the compliment, but I am not a crypto millionaire. I am your humble technical analyst with a capital H for humble. However, I am in this game like you are to change that, right? I got one token that I'm talking to some guys about. And then, of course, there's the antivirus universe. You know, John McAfee was right about everything, and they chased him all over the earth. I was told today, like with antivirus, an aside, You could take the antivirus token and buy an eSIM card. They can't see you buy the eSIM card. And then that eSIM card makes you invisible on your phone. It's like a data service and they can't see you. Now, of course, like say people over there in Europe on island nations, they can see your Facebook, but you could still talk and text and things like that, or Telegram. And, they don't know the phone is you. They don't know it's you because you're getting service privately and you even buy it privately. This little crypto project is doing $10,000 a month in volume just on the eSIM cards. And they have gift cards, a mixer. I mean, they got all this stuff, which people are going to discover, right? This is when Zcash goes to 300, right? Or when Zcash goes to 1,000, which is where I think it's going, right? So gold has officially crossed above, 4,000. And of course, crypto people are going to have to sit around and listen to Peter Schiff and all these guys. And I've always said, don't hate on the gold people. This whole gold versus crypto thing is complete BS. However, crypto people will have to suffer the indignity of whatever crypto Twitter invents as to why gold up and Bitcoin is down. They'll be like, well, everyone's dumping their crypto to buy gold. Everyone's FOMOing into gold and selling Ethereum. Oh God, please stop it. Do not fall for these invented narratives, even if it goes down today, because the Gann model says, the low is supposed to be today. So it was either overnight today or sometime in New York time, we'll do some dollar yen gymnastics. And my comment on that is whatever. Okay. Big Rich with the super chat for Tao. I cannot, I don't even know if I can share screen with this program the way it is sideways, but for you, brother, I will try. Tao was up 10% the other day. And then of course it comes back down and retraces. And guess what? It's retracing itself on a 4-hour chart right into support. So up 10%, discourage it. Everyone FOMO in, drop it, everyone out, right into support. Now, again, I don't know if you saw that or not. Don't sell this market into support. Do not get bearish. And I understand if you're nauseated, like the P&L swings, and I'm like, oh my God, really? Really? I know we're all saying that, and I know we're all annoyed. T-Bone is here. Welcome. Big Rich, Art, watching from Bali on holiday. You know what I'm saying? Like, our customers make money, by the way. They make money. Toby hasn't been wrong about anything ever. And this Gann model thing is hot, hot, hot. I mean, this thing has made like multiple major calls to the fact it's almost like it's so unbelievable. It's actually hard for humans to trade it. Like it literally said, fade the wick up for yesterday. It literally said that because it gives you a little reason why the prices should be there. I'm like, oh my God, I was supposed to short it at 120. I don't short. But I was like, I was supposed to short it at 125 when crypto Twitter is like wearing a lampshade on their head. Like, oh my God, it's a new Bitcoin all-time high. Let me post a picture of myself at the pool with an umbrella drink. The model was right. The model was right. And then they invented this, this dollar hootenanny to do a post full moon decline. And who knows, maybe they're going to do a little bit more of it again today. I mean, the dollar versus the yen is like 152. It could go to 160 and get ridiculous. Good. Let them have a complete circus in fiat. Let all the stars. I mean, CoinDesk this morning, $1 higher, gold higher, everyone panicking, losing their minds, selling crypto. Oh, shut up. This Japanese government bond market literally is going to fall apart. Everything that was ever written, like in the Bitcoin white paper, is now literally happening. No one has ever considered that Satoshi Nakamoto was from the Japanese intelligence service because, Japan has a huge amount of debt. They have a demographics problem, an aging population. They got serious problems over there. And it's been that way since the 90s. This is not new, right? It's now being traded. I remember sitting with a bunch of guys in 2014 or 2012 around a table, a bunch of hedge fund characters going, oh my God, I can't wait to do the Japan trade when that does its thing. Well, guess what? 10 years later, gold's doing its thing. The Japanese government bond market's doing its thing. This stuff's serious, right? And when some of this stuff gets, when it gets crazy, that's why I'm telling you that, it doesn't matter until it does, right? And if it ever got serious, crypto might shake a little with everything else, but everyone's going to go, wow, do I want to buy an overvalued tech stock or do I want the future of money and privacy? It's just going to go. It's just going to snap. Now, the question is that which one snaps first? Does the market snap higher or do you snap from the volatility? Let's have you not snap. T-Bone reminding you, hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel is definitely a good way to go if you have $0 to consume for research. Support us so we can support you. Zero Hedge headline this morning: surveillance money. The European Central Bank accelerates the digital euro. So they're on your Facebook. They're going to be in your bank account. They're going to be your bank account. How nice. Wonderful. They can't form a government, but sure, they can make a central bank digital currency in a hurry. Oh my God. Like, the antivirus guys are going to be able to open up storefronts. You're not even going to need it. This little project is doing $10,000 a month. They're going to be doing $10 million a month in some of these products that they have. They have like something that'll clean up file uploading. Like you can upload and download stuff without them being able to see the location. You can like clean what they call the metadata off a file. I mean, I'm looking at this, right? This is not like the CBDC thing in Europe. This is not like, oh, I'm here in my own think tank and I'm just like making up stuff. No, people, this is like big time news. It's literally, it is all happening, right? Satoshi could have been from the Japanese intelligence service. We're going to create this thing in case another 2008 happens again and the Japanese financial system gets rocked. We got to make sure there's another kind of money. Now, by the way, speaking of that, the new Japanese prime minister is going to come in and do printing as a solution to printing. The Bank of Japan has bought, I don't know, they bought so much of the Japanese stock market. What's left to buy? They print and then they buy assets. What's left to buy? I don't know. How about the Bitcoin ETF? How about Bitcoin period? I've always said, if you want to solve a population problem, if you want people to head out to the sushi restaurant, catch a movie, and then have a romantic moment to get population going, you know what? You get altcoins mooning, you get Bitcoin mooning, you get money in people's pocket. The dating market will pick up very quickly, very quickly. It's like, hey, it's like, look at this fancy watch that I got on. Want to go have dinner? And then, 4 dates later, it's a diamond tennis bracelet with altcoin money and babies appear. Someone's going to figure this out. But it's crypto as a wealth effect. And it could be the orange man, right? I mean, Uncle Sugar is shut down. And I know the first thing they're going to want to do when they get back together is show that they can actually do something. Really? Because whatever it is they wind up compromising, they're just going to need to print more money. Everyone is. T-Bone with the super chat. Can you weigh in on Gemini? Yeah, man, of course. Okay. Again, these are our customers super chatting us on YouTube. For anyone out there who's joining us from TikTok or on YouTube. Okay, so Gemini has its discount zone near 23 on like a tactical chart. To me, this looks like the bigger the base, the higher in the space. It's just that the basing part is not glamorous, at least not in this stock, right? So maybe Gemini became one of those things. It became one of those things where, a lot of people FOMO'd into the IPO early. I mean, I know Circle is making a lot of money, but I actually like this as like a dark horse because it's not necessarily a Bitcoin treasury company. And they're so small that they could scale and get big quick. So, I mean, I don't know. I kind of like the story, but it's obvious people are giving up on it. They're giving up across the board. They are. They're giving up across the board. There's a question on TikTok. Okay. Trying not to ruin my parents' fortune. Best portfolio to start. All right, sir. Well, we've got multiple videos on YouTube, but let's start with the basics, right? What is the future of money? Like before we start getting into altcoins and tech, which we get into, like decentralized physical infrastructure, AI, decentralized finance. I mean, there's a lot of stuff, right? And we're trying to narrow that down, but let's keep it simple. Okay, if you try not to ruin your parents' fortune, I got a great idea, bro. Don't ruin your parents' fortune. You go 50 stocks, 30 Bitcoin, 20 other. That's one way to do it. Right now, in your 50 stocks, you can have crypto stocks in there. In your 30 Bitcoin, that's self-explanatory. And then in your 20 other, maybe you can have altcoin ETFs like ETH. It's that simple, right? I mean, it does not have to be complicated, especially if ETH is going to go to 10,000. And if you look at the way precious metals are trading, precious metals statistically follow ETH. I worked with an economist on this 5 years ago on the whole history. Metals up. All you need is a little bit of a break in this dollar thing and ETH just goes. So, that's the portfolio. Not investment advice. This is an opinion show. And then, of course, there's your basics, right? There's Bitcoin, Ethereum, obviously, right? ETH underperformed Bitcoin for 2 years. What, you think you're going to have like one ETH pop and that's going to be it? No. ETH is going to outperform Bitcoin for 2 years. They're going to unwind everything that they did since FTX. ETH will outperform for 2 years. So Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, and I didn't know what number 5 was. It was like Avalanche, Sui. I vote Zcash. Right? It's on Gemini. It's on Coinbase. It's private. They have the Zashi wallet, right, where it goes back and forth. I don't know if you have to toggle for privacy or it's automatically private on Zashi wallet. Trust me, if you have a different ruler in a major American East Coast city, they will figure out where the toggle switch is. They'll figure it out. And, you've got a lot of wild volatility in that. And there's nothing like wild volatility in the fourth quarter. So I'm not trying to sell you that in particular. You can pick your own fifth coin or just keep it to the big four if we're talking about parents' fortune, right? Remember, with crypto, you don't have to go all in. Sometimes crypto can be so volatile, right? You only have to invest a portion of your capital. And if you don't know what you're doing, put a portion of the capital in. So come up with a portion of capital and then cut that in half and then put it in the market. And I guarantee you, when you have a day like yesterday, you will be upset. And once you're adjusted to that kind of hootenanny, and then you can go, okay, then we can add when the market is down or when it's choppy. So other than that, I have nothing to say about it. Not investment advice. Okay. The future of money. And then you can follow Big Rich and start doing all the AI stuff because crypto is so ridiculously cheap relative to equities. I keep saying that Nvidia is worth more than all of crypto. Okay. Like the Nvidia guy just said, he wants to be involved in nearly everything Elon Musk does. So it's like Web 2, in order to scale Skynet, they say crypto is shady. Let me see if I can explain this. So tech company A says, oh, I'm going to spend $300 billion on the services of tech company B. Like OpenAI is going to buy cloud computing from Oracle. And then Oracle says, oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to invest in OpenAI. So we're going to take a piece of ownership. And guess how much money they're going to give them? $300 billion. So I invest in you, and then you take that money and give it back to me as revenue. Now, they have a piece of OpenAI, so it's not like they're not getting in return. But you know what? if stuff like that was going on in crypto, I guarantee you people would be like, hold on a second. But because it's Web 2 and it's the Nvidia guy in his leather jacket, no, these guys are in a hurry. And what they're doing is they're elevating valuations. They're adding massive debt to their books. They're talking about spending hundreds of billions of dollars, like hundreds of billions, 500, 600 billion, right? I mean, all of artificial intelligence in crypto, I don't even know if it's worth 2 billion. If you added it all up together, to be honest with you, definitely in the small cap universe. So you're just going to wake up one day and bang, let's reprice crypto. It has to be repriced because everything over there in legacy, it's like a dream world for crypto. Like they're elevating valuations of everything. So they're doing like an everything bubble in stonks, right? You have currency problems. You have bond market problems. You have literally everything you ever wanted, and we're selling, and everyone's bearish XRP. And you know what, folks? This is classic for a bull market. Remember like a week and a half ago, it was like, oh, it's October. It's Rocktober. Let's go up only. Now everyone's out. Everyone's out. Everyone's discouraged. Everyone's back in September rectember mode where everyone is depressed because their bags are not mooning. Okay, again, when everyone knows it's coming, when there's every reason for it to happen, they make you wait. I was listening to Stan Druckenmiller, one of the most famous guys ever. Never had a down year. He's my age, ever. Managing huge amounts of money. First, he started off for Soros, and then he's on his own. Huge, huge. You know what he said? He said, all we really do is sit around, read, and think, and wait. So they have their view. They sit around, they read, they think, they make sure they're doing the reasons that they're doing things still hold. They read and think and wait. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to watch the show, subscribe to the channel, get some research, join the VIP area so you can listen to Toby, and you're going to wait. And then one day you're just going to wake up and all your relatives are going to be calling, oh my God, how do I get involved? And you're going to be like, good luck. The next dip is, a month from now. Or when are we going to get a dip? I don't know, in January. And when you get that dip, you won't want to buy it. Seriously, that's what's going to happen. I mean, that's what's in the Gann model. That's what happened in 2017. It was full banana zone, Thanksgiving, Christmas, just crazy. That could start in a certain number of days. Naturally, you've got to get the Gann roadmap to know exactly what day, at exactly what price, because the Gann model hasn't been wrong about anything ever over the past 2 months. Okay. Wrong again says, I'm going to panic and run around with my hair on fire. Dude, I already pulled out all my hair on this. This has been 10 difficult months, right? Wrong again said, I was in love with Bitcoin at 124 and I absolutely hated it and wanted to sell it at 122. And right there, this gentleman is providing you with a window into the psychology of the market, right? And it's funny. It's not funny it's not funny if you're experiencing it, because I experienced it too. But just think about how ridiculous it is, right? Bitcoin's going to $1 million. BlackRock thinks it's going to 700,000. All these big investment advisors are talking about 250 by the end of the year. And we're bullish at 124 and we hate it at 122. The crypto people that should be leading the world are all twisted up. And I just am determined not to let anybody get left behind. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Welcome TikTok Nation. Buy some research. You will be happy you did. Buy yourself a Christmas present today. We'll see you tomorrow.